John Hanna joins us, former National Security Advisor, now Senior Counselor at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. So, John, do you think this will hold?
Well, I think we can probably get through this 7 days, Eric, even if it's not a true ceasefire, a reduction in violence. Nobody's quite sure what that means. I think both sides have an interest in getting through this and signing a deal that begins to withdraw U.S. forces from that country, which is clearly what President Trump wants. He ran on a promise of winding down these endless wars in Afghanistan in particular. I think he wants to show real progress by the time of the elections. And the Taliban, of course, wants U.S. forces out so they can eventually have their way, provide some kind of decent interval to the United States. But at some point in time, my guess is they have every intention of bringing down this experiment in Afghan democracy and recreating the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, unfortunately.
So really, this is just like a holding pattern for them. Here's what the top U.S. military commander in Afghanistan, General Austin Scott Miller, says, quote, "It is about observable trends showing a reduction of violence, and I'm confident we'll be able to understand that on a daily basis and as more days go on, we'll have a better understanding of what the trends are." Sounds like officials don't even know if the Taliban are going to hold up their part of the bargain.
Yeah, I think, listen, it's very opaque. It's very vague. Again, I think everybody has an interest in allowing these 7 days to pass to say that there haven't been any major incidents. There's a little bit of skirmishing and fighting on the margins. Hopefully no U.S. troops would be killed, because I think that would be the real problem for this deal. But listen, 7 days is nothing. In a 19-year conflict, the Taliban are determined to come back, to reestablish their own Islamic Emirate. They, right now, remain in an alliance with al-Qaeda. They're supposed to somehow renounce al-Qaeda as part of this deal and begin fighting al-Qaeda. I'll believe it when I see it. We haven't seen that yet, for sure.
So after, John, all the American blood and treasure, what we've poured into that country and the effort against radical Islamic terrorism, what do you predict? And what would you like to see?
Well, of course, like everybody, I wish and pray for peace. Nobody wants to leave our forces over there longer than they have to be there. The issue is, can you resolve this conflict in a way that allows us to bring most of our troops home, and yet we don't recreate the conditions that necessitated us going to Afghanistan in the first place? That's the trick. And whether we have the breadth and the stamina to leave sufficient force there to continue to conduct the kinds of counterterrorism missions we need to conduct against al-Qaeda and ISIS and others who would choose to use Afghanistan as a safe haven from which to plan and plot operations against the United States and our allies. That's the real conundrum here, and we'll see if the United States still has enough patience to see this through.
Well said. John Hanna, Foundation for Defense of Democracy.